There is a secret rule to the universe that most ordinary people will never find out. A rule hidden in the very places we ignore the most. For 43-year-old Rohit, that place was the dark, dusty storeroom of a primary school in Mussoorie. He didn't know it yet, but this dingy room was about to transform a lonely schoolteacher into the world's most impossible traveler. Rohit lived a ghost of a life. After his parents passed away, leaving him with nothing but medical debts in a tiny one-room apartment on the school campus, he buried himself in work. Late nights, weekends, anything to escape the suffocating silence of his own mind. He had one dream left in his heart: to see the world. But on a primary school teacher's salary, he knew he'd never even leave Dehradun until a rainy Tuesday. While organizing old files, Rohit spotted a trunk he had never seen before. Inside sat a beautifully preserved, old-fashioned overcoat. It looked expensive, elegant. Out of pure curiosity, he slipped his arms into the sleeves. For a split second, he closed his eyes and thought of Switzerland. The smell of dust vanished. Instantly, the crisp, freezing air of the Swiss Alps hit his face. He was standing in Zurich, feeling real snowflakes melt on his skin. Terrified, he ripped the coat off, and bam, he was back in the dusty storeroom. Reluctantly, he put on the overcoat again and thought of Switzerland. He was back in Zurich, terrified but exhilarated. He reached into the overcoat pocket and found a stack of local currency. Like a child, he spent the next few hours exploring the streets, relishing local delicacies and having the time of his life. Wanting to enjoy this newfound miracle in comfort, Rohit sneaked the overcoat back to his bare apartment. He slipped it on. He thought of Switzerland. Nothing. He thought of Kashmir. Still, nothing. He tried again and again, but the magic was dead. Devastated, Rohit sat on his bed with a heavy heart, convinced that loneliness had finally driven him mad. It was all a hallucination, or so he thought. The next day, feeling like an absolute fool, he took the overcoat back to the school storeroom. Before locking it away in the trunk forever, he went to fold the wool fabric exactly the way he found it. But as his fingers brushed the inner lining, they hit a scrap of paper. It was a food bill, printed in German, dated from the night before. In Zurich, it wasn't a daydream. It wasn't a hallucination. It was real. Overjoyed, Rohit threw the coat back on right there inside the storeroom and wished for Kashmir. Instantly, the snow-capped peaks of the valley exploded into view. He took it off, and he was back. He finally understood the ultimate rule. The magic only worked inside that school storeroom. From that night on, his storeroom shenanigans began. By day, he was a quiet teacher researching geography. By night, he was an instant globetrotter. Egypt, Brazil, Iceland, Greece. He was living a dream. Once, he had a heart-stopping escape in Norway when he literally bumped into his school's wealthy owner, Mr. Sethi, who was there on a family vacation. Luckily, Mr. Sethi just blinked and walked away. He didn't recognize his own employee. After all, the wealthy owner knew a primary teacher's salary could never buy a ticket to Norway. But the real twist in Rohit's destiny didn't happen in Norway. It happened in a cathedral in Sicily when he met Margie. Margie was American, wealthy, and beautifully well-traveled. They hit it off instantly. Every evening, Rohit would sprint to the storeroom, don the coat, and meet Margie under the Sicilian stars. But as his love grew, so did his guilt. He was living a massive lie. She was a high society woman who flew across continents on a whim. He was just a broke teacher from Mussoorie, surviving on a magical overcoat. Finally, unable to bear the weight of the lie, Rohit confessed. He told her the absolute truth and braced himself for her to walk away in disgust. But instead, tears of joy rolled down Margie's cheeks. Slowly, Margie glanced down and pointed to her shoes. "I'm not rich, Rohit," she whispered. "In reality, I'm a waitress from Chicago, and I found these magical stilettos. in my restaurant's basement storeroom. They were both living the exact same lie. Two ordinary souls brought together by two extraordinary pieces of storeroom history. They got married in a quiet European church at a perfectly convenient time zone, and that's when they discovered the ultimate truth. The pastor who conducted their marriage was actually an ordinary man from the Philippines who had discovered a magical cloak hidden away in his church storeroom. It turns out there's a whole secret society of us. By day, we do our boring, ordinary jobs, but at night, the world belongs to the storeroom shenanigans. If this story stayed with you, like, share, and subscribe. A new story arrives every Sunday. I'll see you then.